A charged particle of mass m, charge q, moves along x-axis with a velocity v0. When it passes through the origin, it enters a region having uniform electric field E vector equals to minus of Ej cap, which extends up to x equals to d. Equation of path of the electron in the region x, which is greater than d. So we have to find the equation of path of the electron in the region x greater than d here. So here I can say the electric field is in downward direction, that has been shown here. This is E, that is minus Ej cap, and it is said we have a positive charge which has a speed of v0 in this direction. This is q. So the force experienced by this positive charge will be in downward direction. So because of that, the path will be projectile from here to here, and once it crosses this region, then from here it will move on a straight path going from here to here. This will be the path further. So this will be the path taken by the charged particle when it comes out of the field lines. Because there is no electric field lines here, so the path here will be straight. So basically we need to find this coordinate here, and it is said that this is I think origin here passes through the, okay, yeah, this is our origin. It is mentioned in the question, so we can consider this as 0, 0. Now the time in which it goes from here to here, how much time it will take to go from here to here, we can easily calculate that, because here I can say one more point, that as the charged particle goes from here to here along this path, force are always in the downward direction. There is no force along this line, so this velocity is not going to change. So time taken to cross the region, I will write time taken to cross the electric field region. This t will be written as d by v0. In this t time, it will travel some vertical distance. Initial speed in vertical direction is 0. So this point will have one coordinate, that is d, comma y, and I will calculate the value of y here. So y will be how much? That is minus of half q e by m, that's acceleration into t square. So its coordinate will become minus of half q e by m, q e by m, and t is basically d square by v0 square. Okay, so we got this point here. We have this coordinate here and this coordinate here. So now we have to write the equation of this line. So equation of this line can easily be calculated. For this, just I require to know the slope of this line. So what will be the slope here? So you can see in this direction it will have a speed vy, and in this direction its speed is v0 itself. And if I calculate vy, then vy will be 80 q e by m into t, because uy, initial speed in y direction, is 0. So that is basically q e by m, and t is basically d by v0. Now we have got the value of vy here, so we can calculate this angle theta, and so slope tan theta, you can see theta is how much? Tan theta will be minus of vy by v0, and that is minus of QE by M d by V naught into V naught here. So this is minus of QE by M d by V naught square. So this is the slope that we get here. Now equation of line, if we have to write, the equation of line is y equals to mx plus c. So y we know here, we have to, we know the value of y, we know the value of x, we will substitute these 2 points, we know the value of m, we can get the value of c here, constant. So y is basically minus of, if I write the value of y here, so y is basically minus of half QE by M d square by V naught square equals to M, that is again minus of QE by M d by V naught square into d plus c. So we will get here c equals to how much? C is QE by M d square by 2 V naught square. So we got the value of c here, and once we get the value of c, so we can substitute this value of c in this given equation to get the value of y. So y will be your minus of QE by M, and this is d by V naught square times x, and c is QE by 2m d square by V naught square. So we can take common QE d by V naught square here, m V naught square common, so this will become d by 2 minus of x. So the correct option is option 2.